In this chapter, we will focus on the one thing without which you won't succeed in the long run, no matter how much you know about nutrition and physiology. It is changing the habits and sticking with the new ones for good. Tiny changes that last are infinitely better than big changes that are short-lived. We fetishize the big transformation and weight loss stories in the media and don't care that 99% of them are extremely unhealthy and won't last. We are driven by our ego and not our intelligent decision making. If you have tried to lose weight before, there's a chance you have made that mistake too. If you don't want the results that 99% get, then you have to do something different. This is the time you will rewrite your story and the outcome will be different. Just stick with it. Without further ado, let's get into it. So what are the requirements or building blocks of a lasting change? Visions, goals plus possibility equals sustained motivation. Change self-image. Self-monitoring. Automated systems, processes, and routines. Social environment. Let's go over those one by one. Sustained motivation. We have a wrong idea of motivation. We think it is a one-time thing when we start something and then it fades away. This is a formula for an endless cycle of failures. Instead, we should aim to treat motivation as a refilling resource. The key is to find a way to keep getting motivated over and over again. This is a difficult subject on its own and would need a whole course in itself. But here are the main principles of sustained motivation. Possibility. For you to be and stay motivated, you have to believe that the change is possible. That requires the knowledge and the right mindset. That is one reason for this course, to know the possibility of changing your body and health. That's why learning about the subject and constantly improving your knowledge is important, not just the basics. The other thing that shows you the possibility is other people's success stories. That's why it is recommended to interact or read about other people's struggles and successes. Vision and goals. For you to stay motivated, you need a vision of an improved you in the future, or better yet, specific goals. This is derived from the possibility of a more specific, individualized outcome for yourself. You have to have a clear picture of a better life in the future. With that, we come to the next principle, change self-image. Change self-image is a necessary step in any lasting change. That's what differentiates the short-lived success stories in yo-yo dieters from actual lifestyle transformation. When the diet and body change, it needs the self-image to change as well. Otherwise, it will always revert to its default setting. It is as true to physiology as it is to psychology. But what does it actually mean? Self-image is a perception of yourself in your mind. Who you actually think you are, your name, looks, history, personality, everything you identify yourself as. When we want lasting results, we need to change this self-perception. It doesn't suffice that you lose 20 pounds. You need to identify yourself as a new kind of person who does things daily that help him or her keep that 20 pounds away. You have to know that you are a person who sleeps well and regularly, who eats healthy, and invests in self-development. Do you see the difference? Changing self-image isn't a one-time thing. It is a long process. The best way is to change your self-image 1% every day as you change outside factors like nutrition and physical activity. Those two support and enhance each other. It needs deliberate work and conscious effort. An exercise for you: write down and describe in as much detail as you can a person that has accomplished what you are trying to achieve. What does he look like? How does he think? How much does he eat? What kind of person does he socialize with? And so on. The more precise, the better. Read this every day and picture yourself changing more and more into that person. Act accordingly. It is much better to change that 1% every day for 100 days than to try to change 100% in one day. Self-monitoring. We have covered that in detail already. Self-monitoring is a tool to keep a finger on the pulse and adjust rapidly. It is also a very good motivational tool and helps you change that self-image. Learn to use it. Automated systems, processes, and routines. Have you ever wondered why we haven't covered the willpower already? As almost all lifestyle changes and diets depend on it and fail when willpower runs out, it is one thing you can't build a lasting change on. That's why you need automated systems, processes, and routines. This whole course is built around them. For example, eating by the specific plan and specific foods. Buying only those specific foods from the store in advance. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day. Monitoring your weight, blood sugar, and waist circumference every Monday morning. Those are just some examples. Most people are drifting through life without systems and processes, or those are not conscious and effective. When they try to change, they do it with a great willpower effort and mostly succeed in a short period. But those changes never last. It is okay to use that motivation and willpower initially, but you should rather quickly start building those systems into your everyday life. The longer you do them consciously, the more subconscious or automated they become. The more automated they become, the less willpower and active effort they require. Something to do: start consciously creating automated systems into your everyday life. Try to make them as easy as possible to follow. Social environment. This is one factor that is always affecting our behavior without us knowing. It is very powerful, but we have a built-in system in our subconscious that blocks us from understanding its effect. In other words, the social environment is affecting us almost 24/7, but we think that those are our own decisions. It is an important evolutionary process, and we are powerless in avoiding it. But on the other hand, we shouldn't. Instead, we should use its amazing power. The famous saying goes that you are the average of the closest 5 people around you. And it is quite true. Just like energy-draining and destructive people cause misery in your life, uplifting and supportive people create success. You should consciously work to surround yourself with people who are role models for your own self-image. If you want to see yourself as a disciplined person who works out every day and sleeps well, you should spend time with those kinds of people. On the other hand, if you spend time with people who only eat pizza, drink only beer, and move as little as possible, your own choices to succeed will be much lower. It wouldn't matter how much willpower and motivation you have. That's why we need those rules. Okay, you might say that you can't always choose who you interact with. That is very true. Your spouse, children, parents, and coworkers are just some examples. That said, there still are many factors you can affect. You can limit your time with destructive people and spend more time with motivating people. You can speak frankly and sincerely with your closest people about your aspirations and ask for support. Better yet, try to get them motivated and involved. It is so much harder to eat clean when your spouse is devouring pizza 3 times a day. Find new friends. Just because you've had a 6-pack of beer with John 3 times a week for the last 10 years doesn't mean you are married to him for the rest of your life. If you have nothing else in common with John, instead, join a support group or fitness club or hobby circle. Seek out people whose aspirations and lifestyle correlate to your own. Be a mentor and motivation to others. Don't nag, just be the best you can be and inspire others to change through your own positive change. There were the 5 main principles of which you need every single one to succeed in the long term or maximize your chances. If you are serious about change or tired from trying and failing, you need to take those principles seriously and start working towards them. To sum it up, what you need to do, create a vision for your change and seek out practical knowledge on how to get there. Work consciously on your self-image towards the image that you aspire to be. Monitor that change and learn from the mistakes and successes, constantly improve. Create automated systems that take the willpower and conscious decision-making out of the formula. Work towards creating a social environment that is supportive, challenging, and motivating.